Hello plant friends, this is Miro from Basic Plants and welcome to my channel. In my last video I mentioned that I would like to do a type of a haul video and show you some of the plants that I got this summer, but upon making the list I realized that list is a bit long. I don't really know why. See, I didn't really buy that many plants. It's just a couple of plants, like 30 or 40 plants. And you know, if you really think about it, it's not that much because, you know, from May to August, that is like 4 months. If you divide that, that's around 10 plants a month. And if you divide 10 plants by 30 days that you have in a month, that's like 0.3 plants a day. And 0.3 is less than 1 and it's less than 0.5. And you can really round 0.3 down to 0. And you know, basically I didn't get any plants this summer. And that is how I do maths. And that is how this happens. Don't tell me that I have a plant buying problem, you know, I think we already established that I bought 0 plants and like if anyone has a plant buying problem, it's probably you. It's definitely not me. So I did pick several plants that I would like to show you today and I do hope you enjoy them. I don't think any of them are very difficult to get a hold of. Maybe a couple of them will be more on the uncommon side. Some of these plants I got as gifts. Some of them I traded for cuttings of my own plants. Of course, many of them I had to buy because you cannot always get gifts. And I did break them into several categories, and I think we can just dive into this situation. Can you guess what we will start with? Yes, we will start with Hoyas, of course. This is a plant I mentioned in my plant wish list video, and I really, when I was making that video, I wasn't expecting to get this plant this year or maybe not even next year, but an opportunity just came to me. You know, a window opened and I just went through that window and I came back with the plant. Oh my god. First Hoya that I would like to show you is in this very clean pot, and it is Hoya sigilatis. And it does have one longer vine here, but the vine is a bit broken in one spot because of the way, you know, of the shipping. I do think I will have to cut it back and root. And I was really surprised by this Hoya because I did not expect the leaves to be so small. When I look on the pictures on the internet, I cannot really compare it to anything, so I was expecting the leaves to be much bigger, and I did expect them to be more succulent. I still did not repot it. It's in a mix of cocoa chips. And I do think I will just leave it in that mix because the roots seem fine to me and I do not want to disturb it if I don't have to. You can see how this Hoya looks like. It has that silver splash on the leaf, and the leaves will get more red if you expose them to more light. Another Hoya that I got, I actually just potted before the video. It arrived with a population of root mealybugs, and it arrived approximately 1 month ago, and I did not really want to treat the root mealybugs. There were so many of them. I just cut it all the way back. I cleaned the cuttings, made sure they're clean, and I just rooted them in water, and I practically forgot about it for a month, and today I decided to pot it. So if I didn't record this video, who knows when I would pot this plant. This Hoya is Hoya obscura. It arrived in a pretty beat up condition. Parts of leaves are missing, but I'm not complaining about that. That's perfectly fine. Now the leaves do not look like something that you would want to write home about, but they do get reddish under light. I do hope this starts to grow. It hasn't produced any new growth because it was really rooting up until now. So I am hoping for a nice plant. I do think this is a better suited as a hanging basket plant, so probably drill some holes here so I can just hang it. Another Hoya that I got also arrived with root mealybugs, so we are winning here. I love free stuff. I did not cut this back, I just removed all the mix that was around the roots. I did spray the roots with 3% hydrogen peroxide, and I'm not sure if you are supposed to do that for Hoyas, if the roots will survive this, because with orchids I do spray the roots, especially when I repot Philanopsis and other orchids, and they're perfectly fine with that. So I do hope that the roots of this Hoya are okay. A lot of the roots were already dead. This is Hoya densifolia. It does look a bit dehydrated. Once again, the leaves are not particularly special, but I did want to get this Hoya because it's one of those thin-leaved Hoyas. I'm really relying on that small portion of the root to branch out, but if that doesn't work, I will have to cut it into several pieces because smaller sections are easier to root. I'm also starting to get more into Dischidias or Dischidias, and I got a Dischidia that is, I think it's Dischidia pectinoides. They do sell it as Dischidia or Dischidia snaili. I'm just not very sure. Are we Dischidia, Dischidia? I'm not sure where are we with that name. They sell this plant as Dischidia snaili, but I think it's just Dischidia pectinoides, and it's potted in this shell of a snail. And I read that those are the remaining shells that are found in rice fields after the harvest. So they take those shells without the snails, and they just, you know, for some reason snails abandoned these shells. I don't know, I'm not into snails. And they take these shells and they pot them into these. I still did not repot it. I'm slightly scared that if I try to repot it, I will destroy all the root system. So I'm kind of waiting a bit to see if I can grow it like this. Probably not. It does look quite cute. Slightly disturbing, this snail shell. I don't know how I feel about this. It does have several holes, you can see there. My camera will not focus, but you can see the flower is a bit pinkish. I do think this plant relies on ants, and then it just uses, it just makes these leaves inside which ants can live. So you can see not all the leaves, like this one. I'm not sure how you would call that in English, but it has a bit of a cup shape. Some of them are flat, but some of them are modified leaves. So I did get a couple of aroids as well. The first plant I would like to show you is a plant that I got trading cuttings. I think I sent my Hoya latifolia or Hoya macrophylla. I sent a cutting of that plant, and I sent cutting of Philodendron golden dragon and several more cuttings, I think. Wait a moment. I'm just so happy. It's Raphidaphora decursiva. This plant is not so rare here. You can see some older ladies selling them on the flower markets. I don't know how they got a hold of them, really. I have never seen that this plant was in trade before, so I don't really know how they got a hold of them. You don't see many of them, but you can certainly find some. And it's just put out this wonderful new leaf. The root system was quite tiny on this plant because it was in a heavier mix, but I used ceramis and a lot of perlite, cocoa peat bark, and I can see that the roots are just developing all over. I did use a moss pole right away, and I just kind of put it really close to the moss pole, and I can see that it is taking to that pole. So it's really one of my favorite plants. I just love it. I just love you. I love you so much. I love you so much. Please don't die ever. Oh, no. I just gave you compliments. I got hit by a moss pole. What else is new? Another plant that I got is a plant that I wasn't really sure I liked, but the more I looked at this plant, the more I liked it. And it's Philodendron subhastatum or subhastatum. So this leaf is probably the biggest, and you can see that there are cosmetic damages. The real star of the show with this plant is the underside of the leaf. You can see it has this reddish underside. Some leaves have more of it, some leaves have less. It does have this also interesting line on the petiole. At first I thought it was damaged, but it's not. All the leaves have that. The next plant I also accidentally ran into, and it's Philodendron, I think Malay gold. It has different names. I have seen it being listed as Malay gold. I have seen it as lemon lime. Plant that I really want is Philodendron Hydratium, lemon lime or neon or whatever. But I think this will do for now because it just has that nice pop of color. It's very similar to Epipremnum. I do have one neon Epipremnum here. I don't know if it's visible. Come out of the shadows. So it's similar to that, and the color. I think maybe this one. I think this one is slightly lighter than the Epipremnum. I was extremely brave by getting this plant. This is the Alocasia silver dragon. Alocasias. It's a thing. Alocasias are alocasias. I got the Alocasia, this is Alocasia baginda silver dragon, I think that's the name. and I got Alocasia dragon scale as well, but that one is much smaller, and it arrived with some yellowing, and it's not looking, I'm not sure. It's just, I cannot also show you all the plants that I got, but I think this one looks nice. But Alocasias, you're just not easy. Not easy. Not easy. I hope we don't have issues. Be a nice Alocasia. It also has this very nice underside. It's just very nice. There is another plant that I got as a gift from one of my friends, and he is such a good plant friend. He sent me this Variegated Spedophelum, and unfortunately for me, this Spatiphyllum is producing a lot of white leaves. It's just produced this pure white leaf here, and then it's producing another one. And for some reason, the leaves that are completely white, they don't open fully for me. I don't know what the issue is. I keep it in a self-watering pot, so there is a wick, and I put some water there, and it's doing really well. It's on the second leaf since it arrived. Older leaves, they have some very nice variegation. I really love this plant, and I hope it continues to do well. It's been doing really well so far. Okay, let's kind of wrap it up with some orchids. I did mention before that I would love to get some Phalaenopsis that are primary hybrids or species. I was not able to get a hold of a species, but I was able to get on, I think, primary hybrids. And it's not a blooming size. It will bloom in 1 year. The leaves are a bit still, they just arrived a bit filthy. I think it's from the water. This is Philanopsis Valysia, Malaysia, crossed with Philanopsis Valysia Indigo. Very nice. I've always wanted Philanopsis Valysia. So this, I think, is a primary hybrid, but I do think this is from a seedling, so I don't know how it will bloom. I think maybe we can have the picture of the flowers of the parents, but with seedlings you don't really know exactly how they will bloom, so you know, flowers may differ. This Phalaenopsis is Phalaenopsis amboinensis crossed with honghenensis, and I did not repot this plant. My friend will kill me when she sees that I haven't repotted the plant. I think I said that I will do it like a month ago. I got it through one of my friends, that one that I mention all the time, the fertilizer genius. So this one is supposed to be blooming size. I do think this is a tinier orchid than the previous one. Not just now, but generally overall, it's a tinier orchid because this one is supposed to be blooming size and this one is not a blooming size. So, you know, I just think this one is a more compact orchid. I also got one orchid as a gift from my very dear friend. It's Phalaenopsis Gagantia, and it's a seedling. Or actually this one, she bought it from a collector, and I have several orchids from that collector that I will show you. I think this one is actually, the collector deflasked this orchid last year. So I think we have probably 4 or 5 years until it blooms. It's very tiny now, but Philanopsis Gagantia does get very big leaves. They do kind of appear silvery even in person, so I do love that about this Phalaenopsis. It does well as a mounted orchid, and that's how you see it grown usually. What I read about this plant is that when it's small, they keep it in a pot, and then after it reaches certain size, and then they mount it. So probably one day in the future I will mount this plant, and then the leaves will probably hang down a bit more. But for now, it's like that. It's very cute. I love it. And thank you so much for watching my videos and buying this plant for me. You know who you are. I'm just gonna show 2 orchids now because they're kinda similar. These orchids were, I think, Doritis before, but now they're Phalaenopsis pulcherrima. And this one is crossed with Ascocentrum miniatum. And this one is Phalaenopsis pulcherrima 4N. I don't think they will bloom this year, perhaps next. They are quite small. They both produce a really nice long flower spike. So I do hope they bloom next year. I got them from an orchid collector here. I have a couple of more orchids. This one is also from that collector. It's very nice. I don't think I'm giving it enough light. This is Neostylus lucneri crossed with Neophenesia fulcata coccacudon. I think the cross is named Baby Angel. So Neostylus Baby Angel. and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 plants inside. It does produce a very lovely flower. It's a vanda looking like orchid, but it's much smaller than a vanda, and I think it does better potted than vandas. Some vandas just don't enjoy their life when they're potted, like mine. It might bloom next year, I really don't know. It's generally meant to stay a bit on the compact side. It will not get very, very large. Once again, I got one orchid as a gift. It's a tiny baby of Neophenesia. I do not know which one. Maybe it's Neophenesia falcata, but it's a very cute and tiny baby. And I got this as a gift from the collector, which is a very nice gift because Neophenesias are a bit on the pricey side. They are larger when you buy them, of course, but nevertheless, I think this is a very nice gift. I have been wanting to get a Neophenesia, but I cannot get a hold of one. And I do have one more orchid that I forgot about, but I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. This is a Catalia, and this is a cross with Catalia tenuis and bicolor, and it produced this new cane, new growth when it arrived. So it was this big when it arrived, and this is the new growth. Almost twice the size of the old growth. It is very close to the light, and you can see that the leaves are lighter than the old ones. And Cattleyas do get excellent. Cattleyas do get lighter foliage when they're close to the light, and that's really what they prefer. I do not think this will bloom this year or next year or maybe the year after that. It's quite small Catalia. I'm just very happy that the new growth is so much bigger because you want each new growth to be at least the same size or bigger than the previous growth with Cattleyas. And if it's not, then it probably is not having enough light or nutrients, or something is wrong if it's not at least the same size. So it needs to be the same size or bigger. Let me know in the comments below which of these plants is your favorite, which one would you like to grow, which one do you already have? And you know, if you have some types, some experiences, do let me know below. I would love to hear them. So far, they're all doing pretty much fine. Some of them are, you know, 2 or 3 months old. Some of them are a couple of weeks old, but that's okay. And I will definitely keep you updated on how they grow. I'm not particularly worried, maybe just for the Alocasia. I just hope it lives. And for the rest of them, I think they are more resilient. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the lovely comments in my previous video. I was really surprised that so many of you were happy to see me again. It's a really lovely feeling. You know, it was really lovely reading your comments. It just gave me the warmth around my heart, fuzzy, warm feelings. So I hope you enjoyed this video as well. And on Wednesday, I hope to post some Hoya-related video, Hoya cure, something like that. We will see how it goes, what will pop into my mind. I hope you tune in for the next video as well. If you like, give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy my videos, you know, why don't you subscribe? It really means a lot to me. You can turn on the notifications if you would like as well. And, you know, watch my videos instantly when they are up. Who doesn't love that? You can follow me on Instagram at basie.plants. And other than that, I will see you next time. That's it. That's it. Bye.